Hello, my name is Josh Davis. I'm going to do my presentation over how to rebuild a filler valve. First will be to a group of maintenance people, and then the second one will be to people that don't know anything about it. So this is a filler bottle valve. So to do this, you just disassemble it. You need some kind of pick to get the O-rings off. This is the valve stem. You need to remove all the old O-rings. I personally like to set all the old ones over in one spot. That way I don't mix them up if I get called off to something else. This seal here is actually what seals the bottle off after it's filled. So after you have it apart like this, you can take your charging cap. You're going to replace the spring, and you take it apart with just a little screwdriver and some channel locks. Some of them's really tight. This one's not this time. Taking them apart to get the charging cap out of it. Now that's all apart. You get all your new O-rings and springs. And we're not going to use all these parts because some of them go to different stuff that we're not doing right now. Alright, to start off with, we'll put the new cone pulp spring on, slide it down. Put the cone pulp back on, install your O-ring. Just make sure it slides up and down freely. On your bottle seal, you have a beveled side and a completely flat side. The beveled side goes to the bottom of the valve stem. And that's what it looks like after it's complete there. You slide the valve stem back into your housing. Put your main spring back on. And your clip can only go one way. If you put it on backwards, it won't. This part here won't spring back up. And you put your O-ring on to hold your retaining clip in, like this. Make sure it moves without hanging up. For your charging cap, just make sure the top of the cap with the cross on it goes in the top. Just install the cap. And you want to snug it up a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be super tight, but you also don't want it falling back off inside of the filler. And you insert your spring on your charging cap. I personally think that's the hardest part, but there's this. You also have to install your O-ring. That's going to hold your spring down. One side of your spring has a little like curly Q, and that goes down on top of your valve itself. And there's a groove in the valve stem that the spring will set in. You just move your O-ring up above the little curly Q on the spring, and you have a rebuilt valve. Just make sure it moves. And of course, you would take it, wash it, sanitize it, and put it inside of a clean bag and seal it up.